Ladies and gentlemen, it's my very great pleasure to be here today with Lonnie Lee at the National Awards ceremony for the 2009 National Songwriters Awards. Lonnie, how are you going?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you. Nice to be here.
Brilliant. Lonnie, you attend the awards most years, and what is it about the awards that brings you back every year?
I guess I like to see the advancement of the younger, not necessarily the younger in age for what they are, but the younger ones entering into the entertainment industry, the young songwriters, just to see how they're going. I still get off on the younger people, the newer people, doing things. Although it's funny, as you get older, it seems like it's like a curve. You start off thinking everything's new, or actually you start off copying everything, and then you get to a point where you think that you've discovered everything yourself. And then as you get older, you realize that everything's much the same anyway. So while I look and listen to a lot of the young songwriters that are here, I also know that there's very little room to reinvent anything. So much the same is going round and round, except they have a different slant on it, a more modern slant on it, and that's exciting, and I like that.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. I can relate to what you're saying there. And with songwriting being a lifelong journey, you're still finding yourself in the zone and writing.
Oh yes, I've gone through different periods of time when I've been in a drought, as it were. I just couldn't write, and sometimes that's gone into years where I just couldn't. And it's not so much that I sat down and thought, oh, nothing's coming, or that has happened as well, but it's that other things in life take over the time of even the thought of doing it, and you get involved in other things, especially in someone that's had a career for sort of so long, doing so many different things all the time. It's songwriting is one of those things that, in a way, you've got to, it's like wanting to read a good book. You've got to somehow set the time and say, no, don't disturb me. I don't want tea. I don't want anyone to call me. Just let me stay in my room and let me read my book, or let me write my song. And a lot of the time that doesn't happen for me, because I am too busy. But I must admit, I suppose about maybe 5 years ago, after a drought of maybe, I don't know, maybe 5, 6 years, maybe even more, I started to write again. Things just started to happen. I just all of a sudden started to feel, oh, I've got to write that down. I've got to do that. So it was like a welling from within, And fortunately I still have it. I'm still been writing stuff. My last couple of albums I've just written, and I'm halfway through another project, and I'm still looking for other things to do. So I'm not too sure how long this thing's going to happen, that I don't enter the drought again. So I just hope we don't have an El Nino of songwriting.
Brilliant, Lonnie. Just for the uneducated, could you just go through some of your career highlights for us?
Well, I guess I started when I was really young. When I was 16, I started this. When I started the whole thing, that was prior to rock and roll, and Johnny Ray was my king, at the time, and he was a singer, like the ballad singers, and what we call, I guess, later on the doo-wop singers of the late 50s, mid and late 50s. They were all melodious singers, and the girls as well. And then rock and roll came in, and the words and everything was chopped, and the songs weren't as elongated and repeating choruses and things, and it was the hook that one was looking for. And so I guess that was the thing that enticed me. From the Johnny Ray, I went into rockabilly, and in late 56, early 57, I started my own little rockabilly band, and then we started doing things there. And then maybe about 2 years later, I re-met Johnny O'Keefe again, who was also just starting, and he was also in Johnny Ray, as I was at first. And then he just started 6 O'Clock Rock, so he invited me on to 6 O'Clock Rock there. I went on there and was on there virtually every week that I wasn't somewhere else. And then that led to Lee Gordon asking for, who had a record company, and Lee Gordon was the one who the first one that brought all the big stars out to the stadium. Johnny Cash and the biggest,
Right.
Sinatra, whoever there was, they came out here. And fortunately, he liked me and what I did, and I was on many of those big shows, and that's what helped spread my name around, because we went nationally, And then at the same time, there was 6 O'Clock Rock, which was the 6 O'Clock Rock ABC show going through every Saturday night, and that got me around to the place and around Australia, and that the records happened to hit. Johnny O'Keefe and I wrote my first single song, which was my first #1, and then that just started things rolling and just went after that. I never really went into it to be a success. I never went into it to be a star. There's no way in the world I even thought I could be a star. I never thought of it. Whereas today, in the last few years, it's a different motivation. It seems like, the young want to be stars, and everyone wants to be a star, sort of thing. And good on them, But in my day, there was no industry. There were no agents that were interested in us. There was no venues for musicians. Really, it was we were just doing everything for the love of it.
Mm. Would you say it's still true though that a good song can take you far?
Oh God, absolutely.
Yeah.
No doubt in the world about that. And also, the fact is that it's better to start out to have a good song and a production that's not so good than have a great production and a crappy song. Although maybe there'll be times that someone can disprove me wrong, but in general terms, the song is the thing. I went to Nashville and spent nearly 15 years in the United States. Nearly 9 of those was in Nashville. I was writing with Roy Orbison and a few others, wrote for a few other people. And during that time, I was much involved with a lot of the songwriting people from over there. This is in the 70s. Before Nashville changed to what it is now. It's more sort of poppy stuff now. But one of the things that they taught me, and I never forgot it. And somehow I'd never thought about it. But they taught me. They said to me, "You must, to be a successful songwriter in the popular music field, you've got to be a miser with words." So the idea of it is, if you've got something to say, if you can say it in 3 words. Say it in 3 words. Don't take 4 paragraphs, and it's not easy to do. That's sometimes it is, but in general terms, it's not easy to do. And that's when I was judging this year I haven't judged, but most years I judge some of the categories for the ASA. And one of the things that I've noticed was that on 2 accounts, some of the songs aren't too good, but the productions are really good. They put a lot of time into productions, and the other thing is, what a lot of the songs, they use too many words. They could have been much leaner on the words, which would have given it, allowed the person to imagine. That's, to me, is the magic. It's the magic of reading a book, and it's the magic of listening to the old-time radio, where you'd hear the serials and he's creeping behind the door, and then he's going to jump on him now. And if with TV, you just look at it, you're dead just looking at this thing. But with radio, you're imagining it, and it's the same way, I think, with a song. With the lyrics of a song, you have to try and either imagine it or become it. That's your story.
So the old golden rule of less is more really rings true for you.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah. And that's what they drove home to me in Nashville as well. That was the most important thing.
So to sort of paint the clearest picture using the fewest amount of words adds up to generally a good song.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lonnie, do you still get a kick out of hearing yourself on the radio when you're driving down the road sometimes?
Oh, it's not so much a kick now. It's, I suppose, to be really cold, because I'm in the business of show business, and I've been in it for so long, and I'm so aware that if you don't have your songs played, no one's going to turn up to your show. So from when I hear myself on radio now, or hope to hear myself on radio now, it's more of a relationship. There's a chance that someone's going to turn up at the show next week.
Right.
As opposed to, oh wow, there I am, listen to me. No, that went 100 years ago. And in fact, I don't particularly like my voice. A couple of my songs I don't mind myself singing, but in most times I don't really. I suppose if I would have had a choice, I wouldn't have picked my voice.
Well, that's interesting you say that, because generally artists are their own worst critics.
Yeah.